I need you to breathe slowly for a moment, because what I'm about to say feels heavier than anything I expected to share with you today. When I say that marriage is close for you, I'm not just trying to catch your attention. I'm telling you something that I've been feeling deep inside my heart. Something that's been growing stronger every time I think about you, your future, and the direction your life is moving toward. But there's something else too. Something God has been quietly placing in my chest. Something that feels like a soft warning, not to scare you, but to prepare you. And I don't know why, but I feel like I'm supposed to tell you this myself, directly with honesty that comes straight from the deepest part of me. I need you to understand that when I'm speaking right now, I'm speaking to you in the most personal way I can, because you've become someone I can't speak to lightly anymore. Every word I say to you carries weight in my heart, and maybe you don't realize this, but I feel you in a way I don't feel anyone else. Whenever I talk to you, something inside me softens, something slows down, something becomes quiet, and in that silence, I hear a feeling that I don't hear with anyone else. It's the kind of feeling that makes a man choose his words carefully, not out of fear, but out of respect for the person he's speaking to. And that person is you. You might not know this, but God has been showing me something about you, something gentle, something emotional, something connected to your future. Every time I pray, every time I ask about where my life is going, your presence appears in a way that feels almost impossible to explain. It's not your face, it's not your voice, it's your energy, your softness, your emotional depth that keeps coming back to me. And today, when I asked again, the same warmth filled me, but this time there was something else with it. A warning, a whisper, a reminder that not everyone who approaches you has the heart you deserve. I don't want you to get scared when I say this, because I'm not here to frighten you. I'm here to protect you. I'm here to tell you what I feel, the way I feel it, without hiding anything. I know marriage is close for you. I can feel that your life is moving in that direction. But God made me feel that before you take any step, your heart needs clarity. Your heart needs truth. Your heart needs protection from words that sound sweet but don't hold the same depth that your soul deserves. And I don't know why this message had to come through me, but I've learned not to ignore things that God puts in my chest with this much force. You have a soft heart, a gentle nature, a way of loving that isn't common anymore. You give your emotions honestly, you trust deeply, you break quietly. And people like you need to be handled with care, not played with, not rushed, not fooled by empty promises. And that's why I'm telling you this, not because I want to control your choices, but because I don't want to see your heart get hurt in a moment it thought was sacred. Your soul is too precious to be given to someone who doesn't know how to respect its softness. I've been thinking about you more than I admit, and each time your presence comes into my mind, I feel a mix of warmth and fear. Warmth because of how much my heart connects with you, and fear because the world doesn't always treat hearts like yours kindly. And maybe you don't see it yet, but the moment you step toward marriage, people will show you different sides of themselves. Some will want you for who you are. Some will want you for what you can give. And some will want you because they see your softness as something they can use for their own comfort. And I don't want that for you. I don't want you to be someone's option, someone's temporary choice, someone's easy answer. You deserve someone who looks at you and sees you as the one thing they don't want to lose. You deserve someone who speaks your name with care, someone who holds your emotions with both hands, someone who understands that your heart is not something to play with. And I can't ignore the feeling that God is trying to tell you to slow down for a moment, to listen closely, to pay attention to the small signs that your heart feels but your mind tries to brush off. Because your heart knows things before your mind understands them. And right now, your heart is trying to speak. And I also want to tell you something you might not expect. Whenever God warns someone, it's because something beautiful is coming afterward. Warnings don't come to destroy, they come to protect what's precious. So if your future feels close, if marriage feels near, then trust me, it's because something meaningful is on its way. Something real, something different, something that will change you in the most gentle way. But only if you choose with clarity, with patience, with honesty to yourself. There's something else too. Something I've been holding back, because I didn't want my feelings to mix with the message. But I can't ignore it anymore. Every time I imagine you stepping into a future with someone, something inside me aches, in a way I can't explain. It's not jealousy. It's something deeper, something emotional, something that feels like a quiet pull toward you. It's like a part of me is scared that you'll give your heart to someone who won't see your worth the way I do. And I don't know what that feeling means yet, but I know it's real. I know it's strong. I know it's getting harder to hide. And I'm not ending this here, because there's still more I feel that I haven't said yet. There's more in my heart that needs time to come out slowly, and I can feel that the next thing I'm supposed to tell you is already forming inside me. I just need a moment to find the courage to say it. And when I do, you'll understand everything I've been trying to protect, everything I've been trying to warn you about, everything my heart has been holding inside for you. I don't know how to explain this part, but today I want to open a truth that I've been carrying inside me for a long time. You might not even realize how deeply your presence affects someone, how silently your kindness reaches into their heart, how your smallest gesture becomes a memory that refuses to fade. And I don't know why, but it feels like you were meant to hear this today. You know, when someone falls for you quietly, without pushing, without trying to demand anything back, it becomes a different kind of love. A softer one. A calmer one, a love that doesn't disturb your life, but still follows you everywhere like a shadow. And I want to admit something. You've become that kind of presence for me. You've settled into places inside me that I didn't even know existed. I don't know how it happened. I don't know when it started, and I don't know why it became this strong. But here I am, talking to you with my whole heart, hoping that at least once you will try to understand the depth of what I'm saying. There are moments when I try to explain to myself why you matter this much, but every time I search for reasons, I end up finding feelings instead. You've become that thought that follows me even when I'm trying to focus on other things. It's like my heart has its own mind, and no matter how hard I try to control it, it keeps going back to you. Sometimes I ask myself, does she even know what she does to me? Probably not. And I don't expect you to. I never wanted to put weight on your shoulders, or make you feel like you owe me something. But I also don't want to keep hiding behind silence anymore. You deserve honesty. You deserve to know that somewhere in this world, someone thinks of you in ways you don't even imagine. Someone looks at your existence and finds comfort. Someone hears your voice and feels peace. Someone reads your words and feels understood. Someone sees your presence and feels alive again. And that someone is me. I never wanted to confuse you or complicate your life. I never wanted you to feel pressured or overwhelmed. But the truth is, when feelings start growing on their own, they don't wait for permission. They don't ask whether it's the right time. They don't follow logic. They just happen. And mine happened for you, slowly, softly, quietly, and now, deeply. You might think I'm exaggerating, but if you could see the way my heart reacts when I think about you, you would understand that nothing I'm saying is dramatic. It's real, it's honest, and it's been waiting for a long time to come out. There were days when I thought I had forgotten, when I convinced myself that maybe I moved on, maybe life took me in other directions. But then a simple reminder of you, a memory, a thought, a sentence, anything, would bring everything back like a wave I couldn't escape. It always surprises me how powerful quiet feelings can be. The kind that don't make noise, but still change everything inside you. The kind that don't ask for attention, but still take over your world. The kind that don't demand anything, but still make you want to give everything. And that's the kind of love I ended up feeling for you. I didn't plan it. I didn't chase it. I didn't even think it would last this long. But here I am, still talking about you with the same softness that started it all. Sometimes I sit alone and think about how strange life is. How someone who has no idea what they mean to you can still become the center of your emotions. You move through your day normally, doing your things, living your life, not knowing that someone out there is quietly carrying your name in the most precious corner of their heart. And I know you don't see it, but you have that effect on me. Your existence has become a place I go to when life feels heavy. Your presence is something my heart looks for even without my permission. It's almost like I breathe a little easier when I think about you. And maybe you don't need to know all this. Maybe your life is already full. Maybe you have other priorities, other dreams, other directions. I understand that. I respect that. But today, for some reason, something inside me whispered, tell her, she needs to hear this. Not because she has to love you back, but because sometimes the truth matters, even if it changes nothing. And that's why I'm speaking like this. Honestly, openly, without fear or expectation. I also want to tell you something important. I'm not here to ruin your peace or complicate your heart. I'm not saying these words to claim a place in your life that you're not ready to give. I'm not asking you to suddenly feel something just because I do. I'm not expecting your world to shift just because I've confessed mine. All I want is that you understand the sincerity behind my voice. All I want is for you to know that you've touched someone's life in a way that is rare, real, and unforgettable. Even if nothing changes, even if your answer is silence, even if your path goes a different direction, I will still be grateful that my heart got to experience something this genuine. You know what the hardest part is? It's not loving someone silently. It's not hiding your feelings. It's not waiting without knowing what will happen. The hardest part is wanting to tell them everything and holding it all inside because you don't want to disturb their happiness. But today, I'm not holding anything inside. Today, I'm telling you everything I've been carrying, not to pull you into my emotions, but to free myself from the weight of unspoken truth. And there's another thing, a very honest thing. There are times when I imagine what it would feel like if you actually knew how deeply I care. What it would feel like if you understood that someone sees you not with ordinary eyes, but with a heart full of respect and admiration. What it would feel like if someday, even for a moment, you looked at me with the same softness that I carry for you. I don't know if that day will ever come. I don't know if that thought will ever leave the world of imagination. But I know that if it ever did, it would be the kind of moment people remember for a lifetime. The more I speak, the more I realize how long I've been silent. How long I've kept things inside because I was scared, unsure, uncertain, but not anymore. Today I want to speak without hesitation. Today I want to let you see the real depth of how I feel, because someone who touches your soul deserves honesty, not silence. And if you're wondering why today, of all days, it's because something inside me refused to stay quiet. Something kept telling me that maybe today you needed to hear that you're cherished, that you're valued, that someone out there looks at you with a kind of love that doesn't fade. And if my words make even a small difference in your heart today, if they make you smile, if they make you feel seen, if they make you feel appreciated, then every fear, every hesitation, every second of silence before today was worth it. I don't know what the future holds. I don't know where your heart will lead you. I don't know if our paths will ever cross in a way that feels like destiny, but I know one thing. My feelings for you are real, and real things deserve to be said at least once in a lifetime. This is that once. I don't know why, but as I continue speaking to you like this, it feels like a weight is slowly lifting from my heart. Not because the feelings are disappearing, they're still here, steady and real, but because speaking them out loud feels like breathing for the first time in a long while. You might not understand how much emotional space someone can take inside another person simply by existing. But you've managed to take a place inside me that no one else has touched. And maybe that's why these words flow so naturally today. Maybe that's why my heart feels safe opening up to you, even though a part of me fears what your silence might mean later. But even with that fear, I can't stop myself from telling you everything I've carried quietly for so long. Sometimes I think about how life brings people into our world in the most unexpected ways. You didn't enter my life dramatically. There was no grand moment or sudden realization. You just appeared softly, like a gentle breeze that slowly becomes a part of the atmosphere. Unnoticed at first, but impossible to ignore later. And that's exactly how your presence settled into me. Peacefully, calmly, without force, without noise. And the quiet way you became important to me is why this confession feels so personal and so delicate. Because it's not loud love, it's not chaotic love, it's not desperate love. It's the kind of love that sits in your heartbeat and blends into your breathing until you can't tell where you end and where it begins. There are nights when I lie awake, wondering whether you can feel my honesty in the way I speak. Whether you can sense that I'm not trying to impress you, or win you, or convince you of anything. I'm simply trying to be real with you. Maybe for the first time in my life, and being real is scary. Not because the truth is painful, but because the truth is vulnerable. And I don't know how you will hold this vulnerability. Will you hold it gently? Will you walk away from it? Will it mean something? Or will it simply be words you forget tomorrow? I have no idea. But even then, I wanted to speak. Because some truths are meant to be told even if they change nothing. There are moments when I start imagining how things would be if you actually knew the full depth of my feelings. Not just the emotional part, but the silent part too. The part where I look at your picture longer than I should. The part where I remember your smile randomly in the middle of my day. The part where I save your voice in my memory because it feels like home. The part where I replay our conversations, even if they were small, simple, or meaningless to the world. The part where I think about what I would say if I ever saw you in person. Would I be able to speak normally, or would my voice betray the emotions I've been carrying quietly? I don't know, but every time I imagine it, my heart reacts in ways I can't control. And maybe that's what scares me. Not the love itself, but the strength of it, the intensity, the sincerity, the quiet power it holds inside me. I'm not afraid of loving you. I'm afraid of how deeply I already do. I want to tell you something I've never said to anyone. There have been times when I tried to distance myself from anything that reminded me of you. Not out of anger, not out of disappointment, but out of fear of wanting too much. I thought maybe if I kept myself busy, if I distracted my mind, if I avoided feelings, then maybe my heart would slow down and eventually forget. But hearts don't forget what they were meant to remember. And mine remembers you in ways I can't escape. Even when I tried to look away, something inside me kept turning back to you. Even when I tried to erase the softness, it found its way back. Even when I tried to quiet the emotions, they only grew deeper. That's when I realized something. Some people are not meant to be erased. Some feelings are not meant to be unlearned. Some connections are not meant to fade just because they scare us. and you're one of those people in my life. A constant presence, a quiet reminder of something special, something rare, something I can't recreate elsewhere. I don't know what you think of me. I don't know what version of me you see. I don't know if you consider me a stranger, a friend, a voice, or just someone who speaks into your life from a distance. And maybe it doesn't matter. What matters is that every time I speak to you, something inside me feels alive. Something in me softens. Something in me becomes honest, without effort. And that is not something I feel with everyone. That is not something I want with everyone. It's something unique to you. And that's why I continue this confession with the same sincerity that started it all. There's a question I've been carrying in my mind for a long time. If she ever knew the truth, would it scare her or would it touch her heart? And I still don't know the answer. Maybe I never will. But I hope that if these words reach the deepest part of you, you will understand that everything I'm saying comes from a place of respect, not pressure. From a place of admiration, not expectation. From a place of honesty, not demand. Sometimes I wonder whether you can feel that invisible connection too, not necessarily in the same way, not with the same depth, but in a small, subtle way. Do you ever think about why my words reach you the way they do? Do you ever feel that strange familiarity when I speak? Do you ever wonder why this confession feels more real than anything else you hear? Maybe you don't. Maybe you've never thought about it. But a small part of me believes that you feel something too, even if it's tiny, soft, unspoken. I'm not asking for anything impossible. I'm not asking for your heart. I'm not asking you to fall in love with me. I'm not asking you to make promises or commitments. I'm only asking you to hear me with an open heart. Because some truths are not meant to be judged. They're meant to be felt. I also want you to know something important. Even if you never choose me, even if your heart belongs elsewhere, even if life leads you a different direction, I will still be grateful for you. Not because you did something extraordinary, but because you unknowingly healed parts of me I didn't even realize were broken. You made me feel alive again. You gave me a reason to feel something real after a long time, and that alone makes you unforgettable. If love was only about getting something in return, I would have walked away long ago. But real love, the kind that grows from the soul, doesn't ask for returns. It just exists. It breathes. It survives. It stays gentle even when unreturned. And that's the kind of love I've found for you. Soft, patient, and beautifully painful. And before this part ends, I want to say something that might be the most honest line I've spoken tonight. If you ever gave me even a small place in your heart, I would consider it the biggest blessing of my life. But even if you don't, even if these feelings stay one-sided forever, I'm still thankful you exist. I don't know how you're going to feel when you hear this final part, but I want you to take a slow breath with me before I continue, because everything I'm about to say is coming straight from a place inside me that I've never opened to anyone before. And maybe a part of me is scared you'll misunderstand it, or think it's too much, or feel like I'm crossing some invisible line, but I can't hide what's real anymore. Not after everything I've already told you. Not after the way my heart has been responding to you without my permission. You know, there are moments where I try to convince myself to pull back, to stay quiet, to be distant, to protect myself from wanting too much. But somehow, every time I even think of stepping away, something deeper pulls me right back toward you with even more intensity than before. And I don't understand how something so gentle can also be so powerful. I don't understand how someone I've never touched can touch my heart more than the people I've held in my arms. I don't understand how your silence can feel louder than other people's words. But that's exactly what keeps drawing me in. the mystery of you, the softness of your heart, the feeling you create without even trying. Sometimes I wish you could see yourself the way I see you when I close my eyes. Not the version you show the world, not the version you hide behind your smile. I'm talking about the version that your soul reveals through the tiniest things, the gentleness in your voice, the kindness in your heart, the way you care without announcing it, the way your presence feels like a safe place, even from a distance. That's the part of you that I keep falling for, slowly, quietly, deeply. And no matter how hard I try, I can't unfeel that. I can't erase it. I can't replace it. And maybe you don't realize this, but every time I speak to you, I'm speaking with a heart that's trying its best not to shake. Because being honest with someone you care about is one of the scariest things in the world. You don't want to ruin what's already there. You don't want to make them uncomfortable. You don't want to lose the connection. But at the same time, you don't want to keep your feelings locked inside like a secret that slowly eats you up. So you speak softly, carefully, hoping they'll understand the emotions behind the words, even if they don't respond the way you hope. There's something I haven't told you yet. Something I've been carrying quietly, too afraid to say out loud. But today I'm going to say it, because this final part would feel incomplete without it. And I need to be real with you. Even if it makes my heart ache a little. The truth is, ever since I realized how deeply I feel for you, I've been praying differently. I've been talking to God differently. Not asking Him to give you to me. Not asking Him to force anything. Not asking Him to change your heart. I've only been asking Him for one thing. Clarity. Clarity about why He made me feel you the way He did. Clarity about what role you're supposed to play in my life. Clarity about why my heart reacts to you with a softness I can't control. And I need you to understand this. You weren't a random thought. You weren't a passing connection. You weren't just a moment. You were something God placed in my heart. Without warning, without permission, without explanation. And that alone makes you different from every other woman who ever passed through my life. Because no one else arrived through prayer. No one else arrived through a feeling I couldn't escape. No one else arrived through a moment that felt spiritual instead of emotional. I still remember the exact moment I felt you, even without your name being spoken. It wasn't a vision. It wasn't a dream. It wasn't something dramatic. It was a warmth, a presence, a sense of peace that filled me so intensely that I physically stopped what I was doing. And the strangest part was that it didn't feel new. It felt familiar, like my heart recognized something before my mind did. And that's the moment I realized that whatever this connection is, it didn't come from me. It came from somewhere higher, somewhere wiser, somewhere beyond human understanding. But even with all that, I'm not here to pressure you. I'm not here to claim that you're meant for me. I'm not here to say that destiny is forcing anything. I'm only here to tell you the truth about what I felt, what I'm feeling now, and what has been happening inside me ever since you entered my world. And a part of that truth is this. If you told me right now that you don't feel the same, if you told me that your heart is already walking in another direction, if you told me that I should let you go, I would still thank God for making me feel something so real. Because in a world where everything is fake, rushed, shallow, temporary, you gave me something honest with just your presence. Something pure, something gentle, something that reminded me what the heart is capable of when it stops pretending it's made of stone. There are times I imagine what it would be like if you actually allowed space for me in your life, not as a stranger speaking across a screen, not as a voice you occasionally hear, but as someone real, someone steady, someone who wants to understand you more deeply than anyone else ever has. And when I imagine that, it doesn't feel like a fantasy. It feels like something possible. something within reach, something that could grow into something beautiful if you ever allowed it. But then another part of me fears ruining what we already have by wanting too much. Because the connection I feel with you is not something I want to lose, even if it stays exactly the way it is now. And that's why I'm careful with every word I speak. That's why I hold my emotions like something fragile. Because the last thing I want is to become a weight on your heart instead of a warmth. I wish you knew how many times I pause before speaking to you, just to make sure my words don't push you away. I wish you knew how often I wonder whether you hear my feelings, even when I don't say them directly. I wish you knew how deeply your existence affects me, even when you're silent. I wish you knew how much space you hold inside me, even without trying. And I wish you knew that no matter what happens, no matter where life takes you, no matter who you choose, no matter what future unfolds for you, I will always carry a soft place in my heart for you. A place untouched by disappointment. A place untouched by expectations. A place untouched by conditions. Because loving someone doesn't always mean claiming them. Sometimes it just means seeing them clearly and wishing them peace, even if they're not yours.